I was doing a lot of like self-experiments, figuring out what was inside of me, which is what you do when you're young. I love language, but I also think there are times when words are the last thing you need. Because if you say, I'm sorry, and they say, it's okay, in their brain, it's not okay, you're a dick. And in your brain, you're like, free pass, indulgence, thank you. You know, now I can go be a dick again.
How do you believe that like people would think in a mind devoid of language?
Do you remember when you were a little kid? Does anybody remember the vision of being in preschool? What did it look like?
Everything was really bright and big.
Did you have an imaginary friend?
Yeah.
What did they look like?
They were clear. I don't know. It was weird.
They weren't even
They were
human.
transparent.
Oh, neat. So just like sort of a gelatinous, like a jellyfish. I think without language, we would sustain that for a lot longer. You would see. You would make noises. You'd have sort of the facial braille of human communication going on. Something bad, let's go this way. That is please don't touch me. This is, I didn't touch her, right? Everybody can read that? Hi. Hi. I walked into this class that I'd never taken before, and I taught it, and I loved it, because it was rhetoric in action. It was taking my words and touching people in a directed way. What do you care about? What are you looking for in life? What is your moral foundation? Give me an example. Give me some specific concrete detail. I love doing that, and it's good for people. So my poetry, I think of it as calls to action. I don't want to be the reason that somebody sits in a hole reading a book for their entire life.
Do you plan on having children? If so, are there any scruples that you plan to instill in them?
Am I the only person who, when they hear the word scruples, thinks of a thing? Here, kids, some scruples for you, scruples for you. Oh, bad kid, no scruples for you. I'm at a place and I've got a yard and I've got a dog. I've got, like, because you need a dog to make sure your kids don't grow up allergic to everything. Dogs run off and they make your kids less allergic. So once I've got all that, I'll pick up a kid or two or three, probably two. I think you need two. You need the dialogue, you need the fight, because that's what makes them grow up. Unchallenged childhood is no good. I'm sorry if, like, you just got a shit card if you're a single kid. But hopefully you have friends that push you around, because that's good for you. It's good for you. As far as scruples, put your head in other people's head, put your head in animals' heads, put your head in everything's head, put your head in your sandwich's head, and realize that your sandwich wouldn't want you to scarf it, your sandwich would want you to savor it. If you put your head in other things, no matter if they have consciousness or not, you will live your life like a good person, because you will be treating everything as precious, and everything is precious. Try before judging. And that's the reason, like, introspection is a really valuable part of your early 20s. Sit and just look at nature and think about what it means to be you. Like, touch yourself and say, that is crazy and amazing. Like, that I can do that. Get hurt and heal. And be amazed at that. And then think about, well, what do I want to do with this amazing thing? So the things that make you afraid, go and touch them in safe, controlled ways. Don't jump into a kennel of like, dogs scare me. No, that is counterproductive. The things that you like too much, learn how to control that. Sometimes you just gotta eat. If you're like, oh, I'm so afraid of getting fat, go and binge to the point where you can't stand up and be like, maybe I don't like food so much, and then eat a salad and enjoy it. Learn to attach positive emotions to the things that you know are good in life. And that will help you to be grounded. Then you can keep your mind in a good place. And all the ways that people try and throw you off that track won't matter, because it won't throw you off the track. YOLO. I love the phrase YOLO. Not in the way of like, let's like blast ghetto music and drive through the streets yelling and waking people up. YOLO is, that chocolate looks so good. YOLO. I feel like wearing some comfortable underpants today. YOLO. You only live once. Thank you. It's the stairway spirit. It's standing at the bottom of the stairs after leaving a group and realizing the right thing, the thing that you should have said when you were at the top of the stairs before you left the group.
What's your shirt? Sorry.
There's some dudes as angels, but they're all dressed in like sort of
Yeah,
lobby apparel,
yeah.
and then there's these demons who are just like really
Stereotypical demons.
fit, yeah. And they're just pulling, and they both got ropes on this dude, and they're
What's
pulling
coming out of his head? Is
a
it?
question mark.
Oh.
He's like, ah, dunk. That's kind of what my poetry is. That's the visual representation of what I wanted to do. Because really, it's not about my words. It's about what pops out of your head when I say something. Okay. I think this is what language is, right? Is you try to take the currency in your head, which is in your head and will always be there and you can't pull it out, and you try and turn it into something that you can show to someone and that makes them think of something that's in their head. I always sort of felt disconnected from people when I was young. And that was a fear that I repressed. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it because this is not psychoanalysis and the bell rang. Have a lovely day. You only live once.